Hi student, good morning. Today we are going to discuss topic number 20. The title is Human Influences on Ecosystems. Now come to the first slide. See the food supply. As you know that the population is increasing rapidly, so there is a need to increase the food resources. Now how the human has improved the farming, we are going to just discuss, and also we will discuss that which other resources which are being used to increase the food production. See, with the advancement of technology, new methods of farming have been introduced in order to maximize the yields. So the first thing that is the use of machinery. Agricultural machinery can be used in the place of people's. This is quicker and more efficient. Thus, larger amount of land can be farmed at once. The second thing is chemical fertilizers. You know what are the fertilizers? Fertilizers, are the chemicals which contains the important mineral that are required for the growth of plant. So fertilizers increase the amount of nutrients in the soil for plants, meaning that they can grow larger and produce more fruits, increasing the yields. And then, the insecticide and herbicide. What are the insecticide and herbicide? These are the chemicals which is sprayed on the crops to kill the insects or pests or herbs. These chemicals kill off unwanted insects and weed species. This means that there is less damage done to plant and fruits lost to insects, as well as reducing the competition from other plant species. Now, the next heading, is selective breeding. Animals and crops which produce a large yields are selectively bred to produce larger a number of organisms with a high yields. Farmers also grow crops in monoculture, which means that only one species of crop is grown at once. This is done to maximize the efficiency and simplicity. It does, however, have a negative impact on the surrounding ecosystem. This is because there is a loss of biodiversity as only one species is grown. This can harm food chains and require the population of some species. Now, as you can see here, diagrammatically see the 50% of the Earth habitat land is already used for agriculture. Now, the agriculture is the primary driver for deforestation, habitat loss, and biodiversity loss. Now, the 80% humanity could require more food by 21,000. The global food system is single biggest contributor to climate change, responsible for around a third of all greenhouse gas emissions. The number of people suffering from hunger and malnutrition has been increasing in step with the global population since 2014. Now, another topic is intensive farming. Animals and crops can both farm intensively. With crops, this means farming in a monoculture using high amounts of pesticides, herbicide, and fertilizers to maximize the production. Animals are kept in the high densities, and energy loss is limited by restricting movements and keeping a constant optimum temperature so that the organism do not waste energy to thermoregulate. High amounts of antibiotics are also used to prevent disease. Intensive farming is not as sustainable, however, and damage the environment. Livestock producing large amount of methane gas, which is a main contributor to global warming, while the crops take up a huge amount of space, meaning that forest and other habitats must be destroyed to make space for farming. Now another topic, is the food shortage. When people do not receive enough food, famine occurs. This can be caused by a variety of factors, including natural disasters such as drought and flooding, increasing population, poverty, and unequal food distribution. Now, habitat destruction. What is habitat destruction and what are the main causes of the habitat destruction? See, the main habitat are destroyed by human to make space for other economic activities or by pollution from these activities. Consequently, the biodiversity of many places is decreasing. This interrupts food chains and webs and means that more species may die because their prey is gone. Main causes of habitat destruction. The first cause, you can see the clearing land for farming and housing. Means we are just like clear the land, just we want to make the farmhouses and we want to make houses for human. Natural resource extractions. Yes, the natural resources are being used rapidly. Okay, and the third one is the marine pollution. Yes, industries and the sewage water is to be dumped into the oceans, due to which the marine pollution is increasing day by day. And due to the marine pollution, a variety of aquatic life is affected. Now, deforestation. Deforestation involve a cutting down large amount of trees to gather as a source resource for manufacturing or clear space for other economic activities. This has a larger amount of undesirable effects. What are these undesirable effects? Extinctions. The habitat destructions can lead to the extinctions of species that live there. Another, is the top soil erosions. Without roots to anchor the soil, it is carried away by the wind and heavy rains. This decreases the fertility of these areas. Flood, the forest prevents flash flooding by slowing the time that water takes to reach the ground. They also allow the water to be absorbed into the soil. Increased carbon dioxide gas in the atmosphere. Trees absorb carbon dioxide gas from the atmosphere during photosynthesis. If there are fewer trees, less carbon dioxide gas is absorbed, thus there is more in the atmosphere. This increases the global warming. Now, the next topic, is the pollution. What is pollution? Pollution, any contamination in air and water that is harmful for the life called as the pollution. Human activities have led to the pollutions of land, water, and air. This has a variety of negative outcomes, including the global warming and habitat destructions. Pollution comes from the variety of sources, including industry and manufacturing processes, waste, and discarded rubbish. Chemicals from the farming practices, nuclear fallout, and untreated sewage. Plastic have a large negative impact on both land and water habitat due to their non-biodegradability. Animals often try to eat plastic or become caught in it, leading to the injuries and death, which can affect whole the body food chain. As plastics takes a long time to break down, they accumulate in habitat, which causes an increased problem. Now, what is eutrophication? Eutrophication, the as like we use a high amount of fertilizers in the soil. So the fertilizers contains high amount of minerals. When these minerals enters into the wetlands, so as these minerals propagate the growth of algae, so on the water or on the surface of water there is a growth of algae. This growth of algae cover the surface of the water, preventing the sunlight from passing through. This means that the plants cannot photosynthesize to produce energy, so they begin to die. So, as the plant begin to die, they produce high amount of CO2. And as CO2, is also fatal for the aquatic animals. So the animals also start dying. So what is eutrophication? Eutrophication is the destruction of the aquatic life. Now air pollution. Now what is air pollution? Air pollution means the contamination of air that is harmful for the life, called as the air pollution. The main pollutant of the air are methane and carbon dioxide gas. These are released into the atmosphere due to the farming practices and manufacturing, especially during the burning of fossil fuel. Although these gases are released in small quantities, naturally human activities has greatly increased the rate of their emissions. Air pollution leads to the number of environmental problems. For example, carbon dioxide gas and methane contribute to the increasing rate of global warming and climate change, as well as causing acid rain. Global warming occurs when greenhouse gases rise into the atmosphere and form a layer around the earth, preventing heat from the sun escaping the atmosphere. This means that the climate of the earth becomes hotter. And you know that in the air, there are too much, acidic or the poisonous gases are there. When these gases combine with water, so they make acid. For example, if carbon dioxide gas react with water, so it make carbonic acid. If sulfur dioxide is there in the atmosphere, when it react with water, so it makes sulfuric acid. In the same way, if nitrogen dioxide or nitrogen trioxide is there, it react with water, it makes nitric acid. So these acid, causes the acid precipitation, and this acid precipitation damage the roots of the plant. Okay, and then this acid rain also, just remove the color of the buildings. This acid rain also causes the skin irritation in human. Now, the last topic, is the conservations. It is important to reduce the negative impact that humans have on the environment to conserve the biodiversity of ecosystem. This means increasing the sustainability of resources and manufacturing. Sustainable resources are those which can be taken from the environment without the risk of their running out. That is, they can be produced naturally as quickly as they are harvested. Resources such as coal and oil are not sustainable, as fossil fuels are non-renewable. Others, such as wood and fish, can be harvested sustainably with the help of quotas, educations, and restocking. Development should also happen sustainably. Sustainable development is defined as the development which meets the needs of peoples today, as well as providing for an increasing population without damaging the environment. Development must be managed carefully to maintain the sustainability. This involves cooperations between different players, from local councils and companies to governments and NGOs, each of whom may have differing demands. For example, some companies, may want to continue harvesting resources to protect jobs and profits, whereas the other peoples may disagree as it could damage the habitat. Now, reducing the waste. Unstable, unsustainable practices can lead to the large amount of waste. This waste can be reduced by introducing recycling programs. For example, like, the paper, glass, plastic, and metals can all be reused and recycled. which greatly reduces the amount of these materials polluting the environment or in landfills. It also reduces the demands on sourcing raw materials, which in turn reduces the amount of habitat destruction. Now the sewage treatment, yes, how, like, the water that contains the fecal materials, also it contains some solid impurities, how it can be is treated. So water treatment happens in three steps: sedimentation, filtration, and chlorination. In sedimentation, larger solids separate out from the water to form sludge, while water and lighter particles which float on the top are drained into the another tank. This liquid is then passed through gravel and sand filters in filtration to remove any particles still left in the water. Finally, chlorine is added to the water to kill the microorganism, because this water contains so many germs, so the chlorine is added to kill the germs. Now, conservation of endangered species. What are the endangered species? The species which are in danger, called as the endangered species. When the number of surviving organisms in a species become very low, the species is classed as endangered. This is harmful to a species as it greatly reduces the gene pool by decreasing the number of allele available. This makes the species more susceptible to disease and less able to adapt to changes. A species can become endangered for a variety of reasons, such as habitat destructions, climate change, hunting, pollutions, and competitions from introduced species. If the endangered species is not protected, it can become extinct. There are many measures that can be used to protect a species from extinction. For example, monitoring is there. Endangered animals can be monitored. This allows the number of organisms to left to be tracked over time and can also highlight their preferred habitats and migrations patterns, allowing important habitats to be protected. Education, yes, this allows people to understand why a species is becoming extinct so that protecting measures can be implemented. Captive breeding programs. Endangered animals can be bred in captivity where their chance of survival is greater. They can later be reinforced to habitat in the wild. I mean, we just keep the animals, in the cage and provide food and chances of the breeding so that they can increase their numbers. So this is because of the captive breeding program. Now, seed banks from the endangered plants species can be preserved so that the plants may be grown in the future. Conservation is important to prevent the extinctions of species and to protect the environment. It is also important these things to improve sustainability and to make sure that there are resources available in the future, because sustainable usage or sustainable development means that we use our resources in such a way that they are also available in the future generation. So this is the last topic. Okay, now if you have any confusions, okay, in topic number 20, you can ask me. My WhatsApp number is there, my email address also there, my YouTube channel and TikTok link is also available. So if you have any questions, okay, you can ask me. Okay, so thank you very much. Bye.